Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers with another running shoe first run. In this video, I am going to be reviewing the Asics Trabuco Max 3. Now, these are sent to me from the team over at Sport Shoes. I'm not paid to do this review, so I can say whatever I want. But big thanks to the guys for sending this over so that I can do some videos on this shoe. There's also a link in the caption below to Sport Shoes website where you can find out more about this shoe. Right, let's dive in and do the first run. The Asics Trabuco Max 3 costs £160 or $160. It weighs 302 grams or 10.7 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 5mm. The Asics Trabuco Max 3 is a trail shoe designed for cushioning and comfort when heading off-road. That's mainly due to the thick stack of FFBlast midsole foam, the same used in many of the brand's cushioned road shoes, to provide a soft yet responsive feel. There's also a generous layer of ASICSGRIP outsole rubber to tackle tricky terrain and wet weather, as well as provide protection for the midsole foam to ensure durability. Other features include the brand's guide sole technology to produce a smooth ride, a sturdy technical mesh upper designed to provide support while still allowing for a good level of breathability, and smart lace loops so you can tuck your laces away from snagging on objects. So the fit for me in the Trabuco Max 3, I'm a size 8 in the UK, this is a size 8. This is a shoe designed for comfort, so there's a lot of padding on it. There's plenty of space in the forefoot and the midfoot, but it's also quite reinforced, so it's quite easy to get a lockdown fit. I would definitely stay to my size in this shoe because there's plenty of room. It's a very, very comfortable shoe. I actually went out, the first run I did was 32 kilometers, which is a bit of a risky move to do with a trail shoe on the first run, but it was comfortable from the off. I had no issues at all, so I'd definitely stay to my UK size 8 in this shoe. So as I said in the fit section, my first run in the shoe was a 32 kilometer or 20 mile run as part of my marathon training. And that was about half and half road and trail. So the route I took me over the South Downs, but I took the train out for about 10k before then to actually run to the South Downs so I could get the distance in. It was really good. The midsole foam in this FFBlast Plus midsole foam is the same midsole foam you find in a lot of the road shoes, and there's a lot of it in here. So it really does feel a lot of ways like a road shoe. It's very comfortable. It feels quite bouncy, not like Zoom X or something like that. It just feels like there's a little bit of compression in it and it gives you a little bit back. And it's nicely cushioned as well. So on the road sections that I was doing, it just ran like a road shoe. It felt absolutely fine, very comfortable. Didn't feel like I had a trail shoe on, and definitely could have run a much longer distance in this shoe. It's one of those trail shoes that really sits in between road shoes and trail shoes, and is best used for those sort of harder terrains where you want cushioning over longer distances. Now, when I got onto the downs, it's been raining a lot at the moment. If you live in the UK, you'll know that. But the Downs is really, really muddy. So the outsole on this, it's pretty good. The lugs are better than what I'd expect from a max cushioned trail shoe. But there was a lot of mud and it was really, really wet. And what I found is that over some of it was fine. These lugs are actually pretty good for gripping onto moderately wet ground over public footpaths and things like that. As soon as I got onto the really wet, muddy stuff, the lugs aren't big enough for that. It's not the most hard designed trail shoe. It's not a trail shoe designed for really going at it in like the Lake District if it's really wet. It's more one of those trail shoes that's designed for harder, compact ground, rocky ground, things like that. I think the sweet spot for this shoe would probably be rocky, dry ground, because I did get very wet feet in this shoe as well. There's no waterproofing from the upper or anything like that. So it's definitely a shoe that sort of skews towards those outdoor efforts that are on drier, solid ground. But it was really good. I felt very, very comfortable over the course of that run. When I was on some of the inclines and declines, which were quite rocky, felt great. Didn't feel like it was slipping at all. The lugs really quite grippy, quite sticky feeling rubber. So they did a really good job over those trickier sections. Over the fields, not so good. I always find that when you have a trail shoe that has a lot of cushioning in it, you sort of lose it on fields or the really soft ground, because you're getting the soft ground that you're running into, but you're also getting the softness of the midsole foam as well. So it sort of loses its benefits on that soft ground, and the grip struggled a bit on the wet fields, wet muddy fields. So it's definitely a shoe that's not really focused on those more English winter type, well, I say English winter probably most of the year, but that English ground where it's quite muddy and boggy, and you just lose the benefits of that midsole cushioning. But it is a very, very comfortable shoe. The stepping comfort was fantastic on it, and it's definitely going to be a shoe that I use quite a lot when it comes to those spring summer training sessions, where what I'm looking for is going out for a nice comfortable long run over the downs, where I just want a bit of cushioning because I'm running over a lot of harder ground, and I think it would be absolutely fantastic for that. It's quite a heavy shoe as well, so it's definitely not a shoe that's designed for speed. There is a Trabuco 12 shoe, which I've not tested, which is a bit leaner than this, and I believe Nick's going to be testing that soon. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit leaner and a little bit faster, that might be the shoe. This is really for just getting out there and just covering distance in comfort, and it does that very well. So my verdict on the Asics Trabuco Max 3, I think it's a solid, comfortable trail shoe, which really skews towards those harder ground where you're looking at a lot of comfort, a lot of cushioning, and that FFBlast midsole foam on the hard ground is really good at being a little bit more versatile as well. There's a bit more energy return from it. It really does ride like a max cushion road shoe in that respect, and that's great if that's the sort of trail that you're running on. It's very comfortable to be out there doing it. It's got a lovely level of stepping comfort as well, so it's a solid all-round trail shoe for a certain type of runner. And if you're looking at road to trail, so when I run I have to go and do at least 5k on the road before I get to the trails, this is a good option for it. And I've got a lot of trail shoes which I don't like doing that with because they're too hard, the lugs are a little bit too aggressive, whereas this really just delivers like a road shoe that has a good level of outsole protection on if you're hitting the lighter trails, or if you're going to put some rocky mountainous traversing or anything like that. I think it'd be good at that as well. So yeah, good solid all-round comfortable max cushion trail shoe, which is definitely good if your focus is for comfort. That's it from me on this first run review. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that little bell, and if you're going to Catch and Blow, you can find a link to our podcast, which comes out at the end of each month. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.